Good evening, everybody. I'm Reverend Robin Nashak from the Institute for Spiritual Development here in Washington, D.C., and it is time for our weekly Wednesday evening meditation. I'm delighted that you are all here with us tonight because it's a special night. It's the third Wednesday of the month, and it is the night that we use the beautiful cards, the contact cards, which are oracle cards, and they are spiritual cards done through the perspective of extraterrestrials and everything that is out there in space. And what we especially learned from the last time that we used those cards is that all of that vast universe that is out there is actually in here. And so I invite you tonight to begin to think in those terms. Begin to think every time you are thinking outwardly about the universe and about the stars and the planets and everything that we envision as being outside of us, as being inside of us. And instead of going wider and wider and wider, we are going deeper and deeper and deeper into the vastness that is that universe within. That's not too complicated, right? And again, we use the cards, and they are, I will move the cards around, and I really consider whatever card we draw, whatever card I'm drawing from the top of this deck that you see here is a card that we have all chosen together because you're adding your energy. You're adding your energy. Again, you can hold your hands up or, kind of channel it this way. But the fact is, if you are on this meditation from wherever you are, whenever you decide to watch, you're adding your energy to this card. And so whatever card is drawn is one that this week we needed to draw. And we can be drawing that at any time. So I love these cards because they come accompanied by a wonderful little story that talks all about what is going on in the card. And I think that's just delightful and provides quite a bit of insight. And so our message tonight is one that is for our week ahead, or perhaps the month ahead, whatever is resonating with us about this card and what the card is saying and what we discover in the book is one that is a message that we are supposed to be hearing. So let's do this. Let's make it happen. Let's draw a contact card. So there's shuffle off to buffalo. So I've never played cards in my life. I really never. We played Uno in high school and college, but I've never played a regular card game for the most part, and never learned to shuffle. But here we are. All right, I'm going to stop now. We're going to draw the top card, and you can all see that I draw this very, very top card. Making sure I don't have two included there. Card for tonight is, interesting. Again, a card deck where we draw so often. We've actually drawn this card once before, which is just a reminder that it's one that we need to see again for whatever reason. Mothership. I'm going to put this card down where we have another camera so you can take a closer look at it. There we go. It might be a little blurry for us. The way I have my room set up tonight, it's hard to get the camera close enough to the card, but you can see that it's a ship and the card is Mothership. And so I'm going to read from the suits first. And so we've got the suit of ships, and let's talk about what ships are. in this deck of oracle cards. Again, this is about ships first. Certainly the most well-organized symbol of the entire extraterrestrial phenomenon, UFOs of one kind or another have been reported by multitudes of people throughout recorded history. Some of the designs in this system are based on photographic evidence or eyewitness accounts, while a few ships are extrapolations based on energy concepts they represent. The energy dynamic of the ships is connected to movement, journeys, and processes within our consciousness. So that is movement, journeys, and processes within our consciousness. And this is all about the workings, the inner workings, the operations of how we are living. Our card is Mothership. Mothership. Mother, you are always there when I return in the dark of night. Oh, it is a welcome sight to see your brilliant, guiding light. Tell my family I have arrived to share the tale of my trip. Happy to be safe and warm deep within the mothership. Earth is unlike any world I have explored before. Rare animals and plants abound. There are humans, and what's more, sharing among them is truly rare, for they are fearful to the core. Home is just a house to them, four walls, a roof, a door. I ponder their predicament as we float here high above. Perhaps they will never learn to respect their mother's gift of love. A mother's love is one of the most important factors in our ability to learn and grow into healthy, happy adults. It is now understood that if we are not given the opportunity to literally look into our mother's eyes immediately after birth, the necessary biological cues that we need in order to understand and process our new surroundings will not be passed on to us. Therefore, the Mothership card symbolizes the importance of complete support and unconditional love in all our actions, especially at the beginning of any new relationship. Mother energy can nurture us in a way that allows us to find our own strength. However, if it is coming from a controlling attitude and fear of abandonment, it can become a smothering cloud that stunts our growth by passing that fear along to us. This card then carries polarized meanings. Depending on the circumstances, it can represent the need to strengthen the bond of home and family, or it can suggest that it might be time to cut the apron strings and leave the nest in order to avoid negative codependence. The Mothership card also may be announcing that we need to pay attention to matters that involve children, whether those already in our lives or those who have yet to be born. It reminds us that each action or project we support is another kind of offspring, the fruits of our labor. As mother energy brings forth a new generation of ideas and awareness, it reminds us to take our family lineage, our heritage into account as well. Building upon that progression in constructive ways will help us to leave the world a better place for all the children of Mother Earth. So, I'm not a mother, but it does seem like, just like being a mother, this one single card has a lot of responsibility associated with it, a lot of opportunities. It carries a lot of weight. Just like being a mother carries a lot of weight. The responsibility. I mean, is it that we are supposed to strengthen our bond? Is it that we're supposed to leave the codependent nest? Is it we're supposed to pay attention to matters of children? Is it supposed to be supporting our creative endeavors as offspring? It could be any one of those things, or all of them. And again, I'm not a mother, but I know that my friends and family who are mothers, that's the kind of responsibility they bear every day. It's all of those things. It's all of those things. But for us tonight, because it does represent all those things, that means we have to decide tonight what that card means for us individually. What it means to come home. What it means to feel that relief of arriving at the mothership. And as adults who may or may not still have their mothers or their parents, what does that mean to come home to? What do we have in our lives that is that sense of home? Have we been able to create that sense of home in our world around us without our mothers, without our parents? Because it does become a responsibility to do that for ourselves. So yes, she bears the humanity that is traveling through space. She is the mothership. She means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So what does she mean to you? What does she mean to me tonight? As we embark on the second part of this holiday season, where we are kind of careening into both nostalgia of what has gone past and what we are creating in the future, home and the mothership and safety and strength seem to be paramount for all of us. So there's a lot to meditate on tonight. Let's get started. And we're going to start with our breathing. And if you find yourself confused about all the things that we mentioned this card is supposed to embody for us, just chill from it. It's just a card. It's just a story. And we can choose its meaning for us as we go deeper into meditation. So get comfortable. Relax. If you're going to sit, make sure that your back is against the back of the chair that you're sitting in, or whatever seating you have, sitting upright, and your feet are planted on the floor, and you may have your palms turned up, open, so you've got a nice straight structure sitting up. If you're lying down, you might want to elevate your legs or elevate your head. Be comfortable. Create a nest around yourself. Comfort is queen on the mothership. So relax, and let's get in touch with our breathing as we begin to focus on that card. And I'm going to put the card up as I always do, and it's just floating there in space, the mothership. Meaning. And let's just take a moment to focus on our breath. So we're inhaling through our nose And then we're going to hold on to that breath. We're going to make it fill our entire body. And then we're going to exhale through our mouth. Again, make this a deep and cleansing breath. Inhale and hold. And exhale. And one more deep breath. Inhale and hold. And exhale. And so let us have our breath return to its natural rhythm. Just for now, keep conscious of that breath, inhaling and exhaling. With each breath that we draw in and release, let us become more and more relaxed. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. More and more relaxed. And now, we don't have to focus on our breath too intently. We know that that breath is there, sustaining us, holding onto our spot here on the earth plane as we choose to take our journey. And as we breathe and as we relax more and more, let us imagine ourselves turning inward, right where our heart is, where our heart chakra is. And imagine that space beginning to open, just a small portal in our chest where our heart is. And with our mind's eye, we can get a glimpse of what is through that portal. And we see just a glimpse of the vastness of that universe. A universe that beckons us with a voice clear and strong. Come join me in this space. For this is the space of your heart. This is the space of your spirit. And so we choose in our mind's eye to enter into that portal where our heart is. We enter into that portal, and it's almost as if we're pulling ourselves in to that space, that inner space. We're yanking what we had as an idea of our physical selves into that space. And as we pull ourselves in, and we realize we're on the other side of that portal, We find ourselves floating through the nebula and the stars and the planets. This is the universe within. It is our space of our most expansive idea of ourselves. One that is eternal and one that is expanding. And yet, one that contains the presence that is us so uniquely and so beautifully. And we're just floating and feeling relaxed, feeling free of all of the gravity limitations of our earth plane. Instead, we are essence, suspended with the stars and the planets. Knowing that we are made of the very stardust that is next to us in this space. In this vastness, while we feel safe and exhilarated and free of pain, mental and physical, we find ourselves thinking of the word home, of the word mother. And even in our most safe and comfortable space, do we feel the ever so gentle call of our idea of home, of the voice that is our mother's as only it can be, and yet is also the voice of our own adult homecoming and home. Where do we sense that home is in our hearts? That space in our heart that opened into this portal that brought us here is also guiding us and pulling us to a place in ourselves that we know as home. So let us all think of that place where we, right now, in the space and time that we live now, feel is our home. A space where we can be who we are, completely, authentically, expressively and beautiful. Expressively and beautiful. And as that idea of home fills our own minds, we allow ourselves to be drawn to it more and more, floating through this deep, vast universe within. The home that we feel and know is even deeper. We allow ourselves to be drawn to it. It's as if another portal is opened up in this deep space. Another portal. We allow ourselves to be drawn into the portal to home. It's almost like we are fitting all of our vastness now into a tiny pinhole opening. For the space that is home is not one that is open for all to enter. It is the space that we've reserved for ourselves. Let's go there. Let's go through that hole. Let's go through that portal together. And we squeeze ourselves through. And when we enter onto the other side, which is an even deeper space in ourselves, we find that this space is pure and warm and kind. Because it's home. It's home. So let us just be in this moment of this home space. It is so deep within us. And since we're all at home and in various places as we listen, don't let any ambient noise remove you from this home space exists always, without distraction. The deeper we are in it, the less than anything else can take us away from it. This is our mothership. is the space that we must get to. It's been waiting for us. So deep inside our deepest self. We can feel the smile where the smile would be on our face, on our physical body. We can feel the warmth, we can feel the laughter and the peace and the serenity and the joy that comes from being home, from stepping onto and into the mothership. The space, the mothership, means all of those things for us. It's simply an invitation for us to go deeper, to explore, and to learn what we need to do to nurture ourselves and others. And as deep as we are in our own deep self, if we just allow our imagination to open, we can sense those who have joined us in their own deep space, on their own mothership tonight. And the understanding of all that it has taken to get here to this space. The pledge that we make to help one another remember this space. Once we return to our physical selves. And so now we know that mothership, that place of home, and connection and alignment. We no longer have to look outside of ourselves to experience it. It's always there. And knowing this, we become excited about the idea of remembering it in our daily lives, of having this knowledge to strengthen and nourish us, of sharing it, nurturing others. And as that enthusiasm continues to bubble from inspiration, and from that place of safety, we begin to feel as if, as we have been pulled in deeply to ourselves, we're being gently tugged to return. We grab hold of that imaginary silver cord as it begins to pull us out of the deepest self that guided us to our mothership. Through that universe of planets and stars and stardust and celestial bodies. Holding onto that cord, we sense ourselves just coming out from where our heart chakra is. Gently pulled And as we're pulled out of our own heart, we sense our bodies. We sense the breath, of course, that has always kept us anchored here, inhaling and exhaling, keeping us alive as it always does, inhaling and exhaling ever so gently. We return to ourselves completely, consciously, by taking our 3 deep breaths and exhaling quickly. Again, inhale, exhale quickly. And on this last breath, inhale and return to our physical space. What a journey we've taken tonight. What we've seen, what we know. The most important thing that we've learned is that the home that we seek, the mothering that we seek, is ours in here. Our own mothers were just here to remind us that's where it was all along. So we are in mid-December. There's a lot left happening in the coming months. A lot that's going to be tugging on us, asking us to diversify our attention and focus. But as long as we can, remember that sense of home, the mothership where all is cared for, and yet allows us to return to our life and to live with all that it has taught us. It's everything, just like the card. So I invite everybody next week, especially, we are moving again into the holiday season. We are going to be holding our winter solstice celebration, which we have held every year. We hold seasonal services marking the change of seasons at equinox and solstice every year. We'll be doing it a little differently because it will be online, but it'll be next Tuesday, the night of the solstice at 7:30 p.m. The link will be posted on our ISD website. And so we can enter into the holiday season, enter into the winter season after the long, dark night, knowing that the light is on its way back. So we can rest and hibernate and regroup during the winter to come. So please join us for the winter solstice reflection on Tuesday night, December 21st, 7:30 p.m. as we go into the holiday weekend next week. So glad you guys are here. I love you. I'm so grateful for your inspiration and how you are able to keep us going and keep me inspired and thinking of ways that we can continue to align. So go forth to the mothership and beyond. Have a great night.